This is Willie B. And we're here with, oh, that's gonna come out. Black Votes Matter. Alright? So we're gonna take a little video and just gonna see what's going on and see what they're talking about. Alright?
Okay. How we doing, y'all? All right. Let's pump ourselves up a little bit. I know we eating. Let's see. Let's pump ourselves up a little bit. Who knows this song? All right. All right. What's the name of this song? My Girl. Yes. This is one of my favorite songs. Okay. All right, let's do the hook together. You ready? You ready? I guess you say what can make me feel this way. No trouble, BBM. No trouble. All right, perfect. All right, so we want to thank everybody for coming here today. We're going to first have a welcome to Greenville, to North River, by our deacon, Mr. Walter Field.
We would like to, mouthful of food. We'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Those of you that come from Raleigh and Durham and all over Pitt County. On behalf of NOTRA, we are glad to have you to come with us. We meet each month, the last Tuesday in each month. So the fourth Tuesday in each month. So you're welcome to come to our meetings. And as again, on behalf of NOTRA, we are glad to have you and pray and hope that you will come back again. Don't let this be your first meeting.
Yes. Thank you for that. And on behalf of Black Voters Matter, I'm wearing two hats. On behalf of Black Voters Matter, I want to welcome everybody here and thank you for coming. Our goal is to help build political power in our communities. We do it by love and power, and we do it by love and power. We work with local organizations and national organizations to get the job done of protecting the equity, protecting the advancements that Black people have made over the years, and not just Black people, for all people, right? Because what we do, what happens to our community, affects everybody. And so, on behalf of Black Voters Matter, I'd like to welcome you once again. So, does everybody have a paper with the Lift Every Voice and Sing lyrics? Let's just take a minute to read that. We're gonna read that for a minute, just read it silently, and then from there we'll actually stand and sing the anthem. So I'm gonna give everybody about a minute to read the lyrics, and then we'll get started from there. Sing the Black National Anthem. We'll read the first verse, and that's about it. That's it. Good job. Yes, yes. All right, so so today we had to really impromptu make some quick decisions. Unfortunately, our speaker, Dr. Valerie Ann Johnson, who I heard was really good. I heard she's a really good speaker. People, every time I post it on Facebook, somebody said, "Oh, I met her before." Unfortunately, won't be able to show up today. So, with that being said, we have a lot of speakers in this room right now. We got a lot of speakers. We got PhDs. We have doctors, masters, people who cook really good food, barbers. We got all kinds. Elizabeth City State University graduates, A&T graduates, maybe ECU graduates 3 times, 2 times. So we have a lot of great people here. So what we're going to do is this. The theme for this program is, where do we go from here? If anybody knows about Dr. King, he wrote a book called Where Do We Go From Here? I think Chaos or Community. So right now, with what's happened since January 20th, because I remember we were all marching that day. Remember that day we were all marching?
Yes.
Well, it's been a whirlwind since then. People's livelihoods up in Washington, D.C., people that we probably know who depend on the federal government for quality jobs, have been uprooted. The whole world order is being changed as we know it right now. And especially the advancements of African Americans, they're being threatened by the elimination of things such as the EEOC, the elimination of some of the DEI programming, elimination of the Office of Civil Rights and the DOJ. There's a lot of things that are being threatened right now that are being taken away. And whether you agree with me politically on these matters, that's one thing. But we know a change is happening right now. And the question is it a positive change for our community? But regardless of what you think about the moment, we have to be ready as a people. And so our theme was, where do we go from here? And so because we don't have our keynote speaker, we got more keynote speakers. We have all of us here. Let's give a round of applause. Because somebody's probably going to be called upon that didn't plan on speaking today. And so what I did before, while we were eating, I spoke to several of you about coming up here to potentially speak, give about maybe 5 to 10 minutes or whatever you have about a critical matter that's important to you, and gave them the theme, where do we go from here? And so with that being said, I'm going to call on Zach Rottman. I'm not sure this is funny. With that being said, anybody that's willing, that wants to come up, that feels it in his spirit to come up here to start speaking, that's fine. I think what I'm going to do is I'll start it off and talk about a matter that's really important to me right now. All right, so let's give me a little round of applause. So one of the things that Dr. King talked about was a triple threat. It says militarism, there's like 3 of them, but I know militarism off the top. Militarism, give me 2 more. Materialism and racism, right? And so those are the 3 threats he talked about. A lot of times with Dr. King, we are, the nation and mainstream media focuses on the I Have a Dream speech, right? And that happened in 1963, and that's important. But there's so much more that happened after, right? Even in fact, Dr. King, and I believe in 67, talked about how he felt like he was integrating his people into a burning house, right?
Yeah.
And what these institutions mean now, 50-something years later. But one of the things he also talked about, he also was heavily criticized for, and at the time was not popular, was against this war in a place called Vietnam. How many of you have heard of Vietnam and the war in Vietnam? Well, at the time, of course, how this country is, we drum up support for this war, but he was one of the conscious folks speaking out against it. And that made him really unpopular with the mainstream, even among some black folks as well.
Oh, yeah.
And so today I want to talk about something that unfortunately and fortunately, we hear about a lot. And that's the war in Gaza. You know, I'm not even say the war in Gaza. It's like a whole genocide in Gaza. When you look at what's going on in the Middle East, specifically in Gaza and in the West Bank, it's really disheartening. Now, you may say, why do black folks have to care about this, right? Well, a lot of folks are bringing up the fact that the president and his administration are making cuts to federal programs, saying, we could use the money for this. We cut USAID, and we could use the money for this in our community. Well, I don't even know. Maybe somebody can Google it for me. But Google how much money has gone to the state of Israel, not the people, right, but the state of Israel since this war started. So somebody Google that for me. I know the Wi-Fi's not that great, but somebody Google that for me. How many billions of dollars have we sent over in weapons over to the state of Israel since this war has begun? It has essentially committed a genocide on the people of Palestine, or Israel too. They live there too. And I know for my Christian folks, this may be a little uncomfortable. Because number one, I didn't plan on doing this. But number two, I'm just doing this from the heart. Because I'm a Christian. And I know what the Bible says about Israel. And how that's the, I may be paraphrasing it, but the apple of his eye. But we have to do a good job of separating what we know as spiritual Israel, right? And the nation, the state. It's two different things. And then secondly, I want to just harp on the point that when it comes to loving your neighbor as you love yourself, if we just take that simple philosophy, a lot of this will discontinue. Number three, I really want to just bring up the point that over there in Israel, children are being bombed every day. People are being starved. I know when we see things on TV, we see the bombing, we see the fighting. But what's also happening is folks over there are not getting the resources they're supposed to be getting. So just imagine if every day you get 30 trucks of food every day for your community, right? To feed your whole town. Well, right now, I'm just using a number, but about 5 trucks are coming in every day. So what it's causing is people are being starved out. People are not only dying from the violence, but they're dying from the malnutrition. They're dying from not being able to have places to live, to be able to have a roof over their head. They go through seasons like we go through here. Maybe not all 4, but they go through it too. And so I just really want to uplift what's going on over there, and not just there in Sudan, in Ukraine as well, right? As black folks, we have been through a lot in this country, right? And so we have a special empathy for other people, right? Because like, you know how it feels when somebody does something to you. You know how you see a bully on social media, or like that video that happened yesterday here in Greenville with the cop beating up the black guy at McDonald's, right? Yeah. Well, cops. It was cops. They ain't gonna say he resisted, but ain't no reason why you gotta hit him over the head like that, right? You have a certain empathy. And so I'm not saying I want everyone to be a super activist, but I want to say I want us to continue our praise for those people. Because yes, they may not be the same religion as us, but they're God's children too, right?
Amen.
If you believe in Jesus Christ, they have an opportunity for salvation too, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so the reason why it's important to us, is relevant to us, is because we essentially finance it. Think about it. Our tax dollars, right? We finance it. I know this is probably making folks uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable too, right? I didn't plan on doing this today.
Speak, teach.
But I wanted to make sure that I brought something to my heart. And where do we go from here? So where do we go? As we have currently a time now where there's a lot of uncertainty what happens in the future, I think we should continue, if you haven't already, continue to pray for Palestinians, right? And there's also Jews, believe it or not, that agree just as much as Palestinians. There's an organization called Jewish Voices for Peace. Yes, they exist. We have Jews right in this room right now that actually probably agree with me more. Probably telling me, Zion, you're not going far enough. Believe me, I don't know if they want to raise their hand, but but we're not going far enough with this issue. Our funds shouldn't be supporting this.
It's over 30 billion.
Over 30 billion. It's a lot of money. We have still counting, right? I'm saying just, and maybe I'm wrong, right?
No, you're not.
Oh. But if I am, if I am, fact check me, debate me, and I care about and I'm also Haitian as well. I'm African American. I'm Haitian. Ça passe, n'appelez. Listen, I care about them as well. And even then, and this is a deeper subject. Well, not necessarily deeper, but what goes on there is sometimes a direct result of what we do in our country. And how do I wrestle with that? I have a brother that's in the military, right? But I also know what this country does sometimes. And that's what Dr. King did. And that's the unpopular side of what Dr. King did. He spoke out against what was going on in Vietnam, and I'm pretty sure other countries too. And I'm not trying to be unpopular, but I gotta call the truth about what it is. I think, and I'm saying this now, I think the city council should raise some kind of resolution, and the county commissioners, some kind of resolution that says to stop the call for a peace, the call for an end to the genocide.
That's right.
Maybe I don't agree on that.
That's right.
We should do it. We're not saying we're against the state of Israel. Because a lot of us, we love the state of Israel. As Christians, especially if you're a Christian, you love people of Israel. You love the people of God. But we are against genocide. Okay? So, that's my where do we go from here? I hope I answered your question. I hope I gave folks an opportunity to look at things different. So with that being said, we got someone coming up next. I'm not sure who it's going to be, but I'm going to play some music, and we're going to figure it out. Give me 1 second to cue this music, okay? So it won't be so awkward. How do y'all feel? Is it kind of awkward? How do y'all feel? Y'all feel good? Okay. Yes. I want to thank everybody for coming out again, but I just want to, came from the heart, so that's it. I'm going to level up. I have Miss Timberland Duncan. I don't know much about her, just met her. I know she's a colleague of one of our other comrades here, but Miss Timberland is from the state of Florida, and she just lives in the state of Florida. I'm going to let her introduce herself, but let's give it up for Timberland as she comes up.
Okay, so one thing I want to say that I had let him know too. So I do work in climate justice, but I will say I'm not going to speak too much on as far as like that project because it's only been said in months here. So a lot of the things might be related to where I was just living, which is in Florida, but a lot of the things are kind of shared. And so first I just want to mention this writing that I have. Greenville is in a unique position, like as far as like from the water, and so all the work that I do is also in water and marine science. So I had this writing called "Not My Waters, But They Call Me," and so that also is going to be a little bit what I'm talking about as far as like solidarity and connection to land, and like where do we go from here is like kind of back to some of these old ways. And so this writing, so my family is from the South. They're from DeKalb, Mississippi. I am the second generation to live in the Midwest, and so I was raised by people who were from the South, and so just kind of hearing growing up about the connection to land that you have and like what that means for you for medicinal purposes, for mental health purposes, and then also just not just stewardship to the land, but like connecting with each other through servicing the land and it serving you back. So that is that's the direction that I'm going to go in basically with this as far as like climate justice, and some of the work that I am working on right now in my own thesis is kind of the identity that we have with the land. And so I will say for the project that I worked on in Florida, it was also for marine literacy, but also kind of working with communities to help them understand what they can do, and some of those things we talked about today as far as you don't always need all these tools and gadgets and PhDs. the community can do a lot for themselves. And what advocacy looks like is really just going out there and connecting and remembering like what you have a right to. And then like why it is important also. And so, so that is basically solidarity with each other, and then connection to the land is a direction that I think that we should all move in closer to again. A lot of things in the world today kind of detaches us from the land in a lot of ways. And so I think that moving back towards the land and connecting can be something that we all can do. And so whether that is directly like getting out there, like kind of just being in your garden or whatever that may be. But those are really important actions though, because you might be out there planting native species and giving back. And not only that, you are actually maintaining the identity of your people and like how we were stewards of the land. So sometimes I think as African Americans, since we have such a detached history as far as like culture, because we kind of like had to restart after enslavement, we don't know like those important connections and things that we do. And like I said, from a family from the Deep South, there was a lot of these like land connections and things that my family did and practices that I didn't understand, but I kind of continued doing them throughout my life. And then like later, after educating myself, I realized that this is actually part of my identity and culture, like being with the land and not being told that Black people don't do these things, or it's not for me, but it is for me. The water is for me, the land is for me, it's for our use, but not for us to exploit. So, and I think that our people honestly already know that though, and so that is why organizations like NOTRA is working really hard to stand against people who are trying to exploit the land around them, so yeah.
That was really good. Right. So, the land is really important to talk about because we're losing land. That's one thing they don't make, right? They don't make that every day, right? And so we're losing that through erosion, through climate change, and as we can see, even in the Outer Banks, right? Like homes are literally flying off the beach, right? And so what does that mean for the people that live more inland next to Outer Banks, right? They're gonna be going for their homes. And a lot of times those people look like me. And they don't have the money to compete with a Hollywood star that owns a beach house on the Outer Banks, right times. So what does it look like for us to band together to protect our land? I know early this year, NOTRA had last year, NOTRA, by the way, Don Kathleen held an event where we talked about lands and trust, right? And how do we keep that in our community? And as we just heard about the new mass project coming, that means they coming. They gonna want your land. You know, if you own something in that area, I'm sure, to build hotels, to build all those different things. So that also means your property value will be going up. So there's a lot that's happening at one time. All right, I'm gonna give it another song and we're gonna listen. And we have a next speaker coming on. And let's give it up one more time for Timberland. All right. Stop believing though. Don't. That was quick. We got a new speaker.
Kind of caught me off guard here. But where do we go from here? Well, I'm going to go back to the Negro history song and say, part of it, say, God of our weary years, God of our silent tear, thou who hast brought us thus far along the way. Lord, with your mighty might, you have led us into the light. Keep us, O Lord, in the path we pray. But where do we go from here? There are so many places that we can go from here. I think Saeed has indicated some of the things that are happening in this world. And we see what is happening in Washington, D.C. They're trying to take us back. They don't want us to have anything, particularly all the certain kinds of people. They want us to be educated. You can see that. We all see that. But where do we go from here? We go as unite together as brothers and sisters and continue to be strong and be vigilant and continue to keep our mind stayed on Him, and that we continue to pray together and continue to love one another. Where do we go from here? We are fighting certain environmental injustice right here in Pitt County, particularly on the north side of the river. Our north side of the river is a low income side of the river, and we know that there's a lot of industry on this side, and we want industry to come within this north of the river. But we want quality industry, something that is not going to harm our bodies, that's not going to kill us before it's time for the good Lord to take us away. So
right.
we want to be vigilant and be alert of what's going on in this world today. They're trying to come in, as I forestated earlier, with a service station coming in the back door within 200 feet from our neighborhood. According to EPA, that is a no. 1,000 feet from the Welcome Middle School, who has 413 students at Welcome Middle School. I work as a substitute teacher at Welcome Middle School, and some of the students, according to one of the other substitute teachers, has said that they are planning, when they build that service station, that convenience store, they're planning on robbing it. Some of them are saying, according to one of the teachers, has said that they're planning that when they get off in the bus, they're going to slip around the bus and go over to that convenience store and buy some goods or whatever. But we don't want that to happen. We don't want any environmental health issues to happen to our children, and particularly our senior citizen at Brookhaven. Brookhaven has been established over 44, it might be longer than that. Help me count, 71, that's 54 years, right? 1971. And that community has a lot of seniors. I'm one of them. And I think the youngest person is sitting right with that red jacket on there. I think she's about 60 years old. So the rest of us are in our 70s, 80s, and 90s. So we don't want that to happen. So we are asking for your support. There's a petition on these tables. If you are in opposition against building another service station, right now we have 7 service stations. We got 2 one Sheets and Speedway. We got 2 Speedways. We got a city service station. We got an Exxon service station, and we got Wawa service station. And right down the road, we got a Country Mart service station. So we have a lot of service stations. So we ask that you will help us out and keep vigilant and keep our mind on the prize, and knowing that we can do all things through Him that strengthens us. Thank you.
All right.